So back to it. I am threading the reed, which is essentially like a big baleen grill that I am bringing the threads through that are tied from the back beam of my loom through the threading, which is seen on the heddles here, which are like little metal needles in a way, or metal pins that have eyes in them, and you thread through those, and each of those pins, each of those heddles goes onto a different harness that has a foot pedal that relates to it. And so when I press down the foot pedal, I can do any series of 4 combinations, since this is a 4 harness loom, and that will help me create a pattern. I set this to plain weave, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat, and that means that when I press the 1 and the 3 down, the first and the third heddle will come up, and then when I press the 2 and the 4, the second and the fourth will come up, and that will create a perfectly balanced weave, which means, say, thread 1 is going to be up, thread 2 is down, thread 3 is up, thread 4 is down, and so on. So it's just like a normal weave, like most of our clothing is made out of. And I decided upon that simplicity after rethreading this new loom, which I've never used before, and I do not have expertise yet, a series of 3 different times because of all the mistakes I made, and then finally I had it all threaded with a ton of kind of oppositional yarns to do a test and fiber and see how they all reacted. And there was twice as much yarn as I needed on here, and it clogged the works, and it was totally pointless, and I spent 2 months doing nothing on it. However, that's the name of the game, and frankly, you don't really care that much. At least in my eyes, it's all just incredibly fascinating and very satisfying with each element autonomously interesting in its own way. So once I do this, I'll be able to tie on my warp. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm doing a series of colors with this plain weave, so it's not based necessarily on the pattern. It's based more on the color sequence. I'm going to do various plaids and experiments in plaids. I'm very much color-wise. I'm interested in the artist Freya Secchi, who's an American Impressionist. And I got a book of his works at the Telfair Museum in Savannah, Georgia, and the violets are extraordinary. And he has some sort of these plummy purples that have a little, God, I don't even know how to describe it. There's this teal undertone in them. It's a suggestion of that depth, but I'm not exactly sure how he achieved it, so I wanted to do a series of kind of these really pale, ethereal violets that he did, and some flesh tones, and then those plums. And he had some great kind of limey, sort of unripe tomato greens, key lime greens. So I'm excited about that. And I was also thinking about doing a series of oppositional shawls that would just be opposites on the color wheel. And I'm playing off of that theme. Whether it be like, let's see, I can't really see out here, blending like this. These are opposites. These are, let's see, almost opposites. There's kind of an orangey yellow and kind of a bluey purple, and then I mix these together in a blended dye pot and got this kind of beautiful pewtery color with these lion and hay colored streaks in it. It spins it beautifully, so that might be the next piece that I try to do here. And this is the first time I've used this loom. I purchased it from a woman named Christine. She was in my weaving class, so I recorded for the ethnography. And she brought this in, and it does have a few little quirks, I can say. But I spent only $60 on this, and a benefactor, an anonymous benefactor, submitted $20. So somebody loves me, and I'm going to do them good by getting this thing going. I'm going to tame this loom. Rather, I don't think we necessarily tame them. I think that we just learn about them in lesson time. Perhaps we just get a little more wild. I think that's more apt. And so for the next 10 minutes, I'll be finishing this up, and that's to our next leg on this adventure, which would be deciding